to the call. It's going to be recorded, so just so you guys know, you are being recorded, but we can't hear anything you're saying, so that's awesome. But I know that it's, kind of annoying to come to the call every Sunday, but I really do do a lot of research and stuff to bring you guys what it is that the top coaches are doing, because obviously we want to mimic the things that they're doing because they're having amazing success and we all want to have that same success. So I just watched a call from Melanie Mitchell, actually, and that's where tonight's presentation is coming from. So hopefully you'll find some value in it. The very first thing that I want to do is just recognize a few people who are moving their business forward. So Ruthie is advanced to Emerald, so that's awesome. It's going to be active here shortly, so congratulations. Stephanie Hall already hit Success Club 4 this month, and it's what is today, the 2nd or 3rd of the month. So that's really awesome, and I know that a lot of people look at her and, wonder how she does it, and I'm just going to tell you her secret really quick. So what she does is she keeps a running list of people to follow up with each month, like people who have denied her the month before. And then literally on the 31st or the 30th, whatever the last day of the month is, she reaches out to all those people and says hey, I know last month you said funds were tight. So she keeps a reason why they denied. Or I know last month you said you were too busy, or whatever the case may be. It's a new month. I'm starting a new challenge group. It's going to be a lot of fun. You should really, consider joining. And what's awesome is the challenge pack is still on sale, or whatever kind of you want to tell them. I always leave them, and so does she, with a question, because if you just leave people with a closed off answer, they are likely not to respond to you. But if you start the conversation with hey, how did last month go for you? Did you lose some weight? Are you on track with your fitness goals? They're going to respond to that. And then you can be well, I know we talked last month and you said funds were tight or whatever. I'm starting a new group. So you want to open with a question hey, I really care about you. I remember you said you were broke. How's everything going? They will respond back to you. So that's really cool. Congratulations to that. There's really no new product highlights right now other than size and the performance line, which is awesome. If you haven't tried it, you should get a sample pack. It's really, really good. And size I did this morning, and I look absolutely retarded. But I feel when you post videos of yourself looking retarded, then people are hey, I can do that because Allison looks really dumb, and I would look dumb too, but it's okay because she's not a professional. So posting videos of yourself is a really, really good way to get people curious to see kind of what it is that you're doing. Because let's face it, people scroll Facebook and they watch videos. And at some point, they're going to start following you, and they're going to start wondering what in the heck you're doing. So they kind of sit back and watch you for a little while. So continue to post videos, and if you haven't yet, definitely step outside your comfort zone. It's very uncomfortable, but being outside of your comfort zone is where you're going to find the greatest success. So that's really it. I'm going to get started on the call, so maybe if we end a little bit early, then that's fantastic for you guys. If not, then that's great too. But so tonight I'm going to talk about just a few recipes for success that came from Melanie Mitchell's mouth herself. And as we all know, she's the top coach right now. And basically, these are the things that she does every month to make sure that she moves her business forward, which she does like a rock star. So first and foremost, she said that she is reading all of this information from a book called Jab, Jab, Right Hook. And I am going to go order that book. She swears by it. She says it's awesome. And basically, it really gets down into the nitty gritty of teaching you how to tell your story, which by now we should all know, or if we don't, that telling your story is a huge, huge part of this business, because you have to have an emotional connection with people. If people don't connect emotionally with you, they're not going to, oh, hey, how are you? They're not going to want to join you because they have to have that emotional connection. So, hey, Stephanie, we just got started. So we basically are going to talk about recipes for success. And I was just telling them that we're talking about the book called Jab, Jab, Right Hook. And if you haven't read it, you should definitely get it. So basically it talks about telling your story. So these recipes for success, I want to just tell you that in the very beginning of your business, like, you're going to be inviting a crap ton of people. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I want to say my first week in the business, I literally talked to like 50 people every day. First of all, because I got really emotional on my post and I was like, hey, I, recently lost some weight and I feel really good. And so people were reaching out to me, but then it got to the point where I was reaching out to people. And let me tell you what, you don't want to spend your whole entire business continuously reaching out to people because it's not fun. So I'm going to give you some recipes for success that will allow you not to do that. But in the very beginning, when you are a new coach, that is the key vital behavior, is inviting people. And you have to reach out to them, get them on the phone, get them talking. What is it? Do they have health conditions? Like, get them to display something emotional, but you have to be the person that reaches out and invites them. So in the beginning, you want to be inviting a ton of people. But we also know that social media, Facebook, Instagram, blog post, Pinterest, whatever it is that you're choosing platform-wise to run your business, that is your business storefront. And so you always want to be kind of like creating posts where people are going to be attracted to you. So if you're constantly sharing like articles that someone else wrote or like inspirational quotes, and you're not sharing pictures of you and your struggles, like your daily life, people are not going to follow you because they want to see you, because you are what sets yourself apart from another coach. They can go to another coach, but they're choosing to come to you because they connect with you. The only way they're going to connect with you is sharing your emotional story on social media. It's not comfortable. It's extremely uncomfortable, but that's what's going to get them to connect with you, and you want to be their coach. So every single day, especially as a new coach, it is really, really important to post your social media 3 to 5 times a day. And if that means you have to get up like an hour early, like you just have to do it. I can remember like, oh my gosh, when I first started as a coach, I was getting up 2 hours early because that's the only time that I had to do my business. And I knew that I needed to make sure that I had my posts set up for the day because I was going to have to go to work. So in the morning, I would wake up, very first thing, update my Facebook status, because Facebook is initially how I chose to run my business. I would update my Facebook status, and I kind of set it up where it would be like an inspirational quote. So people kind of would come to my page for their morning dose of inspiration, or whatever you want to call it, coffee and inspiration, coffee and quotes, like whatever. But people know that you do that, so people are going to come to you for that. And I would always post a picture of myself with it, always. I would never share a motivational quote. I would just take those words and put my face on it because people want to see you. So 3 to 5 times a day. Then what I would do, that's number 1. Number 2, I found that people responded a lot over lunchtime because, let's face it, you scroll your phone through Facebook on your lunchtime. So I would time my post properly to know when my target market was going to respond. And so at lunch, maybe I would ask a question like, I'm eating healthy today. Are you? I've had my Shakeology today. Have you? But you have to kind of get people like engaged and involved in your post, because I don't know if you know this about Facebook, but the more people like, comment, and share on your post, the more people see it. The people who like your post the most, your stuff is going to get put in front of them. So I always try to ask engaging questions to people. Even if I really don't care the answer. I don't care what people have to say about that. But you know what? They're going to comment on that, and then my stuff is going to get put in front of them more. So you got to, sometime throughout your day, schedule an engaging post. Ask a question. It doesn't matter if you don't really care to know the answer. Just ask it. And you'll see that people, they're more likely to respond to those posts. So then what I would do when I would come home, I would post my fitness picture, because you want to be a proof, that the products work. So I'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm really, really tired today, but I got my workout done because it's only 30 minutes. I got my workout done because you guys motivated me, like whatever the case may be. But there's my third post. And then maybe I would share later like a post about my dinner or something, or maybe I wouldn't, just depending on time. But I always, always, always posted no less than 3 times a day. And still to this day, I do the exact same thing. So your business, your social media is your storefront. So you want to make sure the things that you're posting are things that people are going to come back to you for 3 to 5 times a day. A really, really good way to, even if you're a brand new coach, even if you've never had someone get on a challenge pack, a really, really good way to start formulating your business is to create a blog. You can get a free blog on blogspot.com or weebly.com. They're very simple to do. And hey, so you know what? Guess what? You maybe want to share a recipe. Well, it's much simpler to type up a little thing about a recipe and put it on a blog post and direct people from your social media back to your blog, because you can say much more in a blog post. You can be more personal, you can get more animated, and down the road you can target more people with your blog than just your Facebook. Every time we update our Facebook status, it's gone like in 10 minutes. People like, they comment, and then it's out of there. But if you create a blog post, that's going to be something that's always going to be there. So I made it a habit to, when I first started, it was rough. I did one blog post a week, but that consistency of one blog post a week over time is going to build a bigger blog. And then later on down the road, you can learn how to market your blog and stuff like that. But so let's say your last post is a blog that you wrote over the weekend about a healthy dinner recipe, and then you have nothing to post. Hey, you can just share your blog post. Hey guys, you want to see a healthy spaghetti squash recipe? Check out my blog. Share the link. It's going to bring them back to your blog. Then they might see other posts on there that maybe you posted about coaching or a challenge group or whatever. But writing blogs is really, really good. It's a really, really good place for people to read about you and your life. And maybe that's going to trigger that emotional connection with them. You have to trigger that emotional connection. If you ever see me posting about the fact that I was eaten alive with anxiety or depression, that's not easy, because I don't want people to think of me like that. But you never know who you're going to connect with that day over sharing that one simple thing about you that you're overcoming by using these products. For me, it was Insanity. Insanity helped me feel self-confident, helped me get rid of my anxiety. I share that with people. So you have to get emotional. Okay, so number one tip for Recipes for Success is to, in this book, if you start reading it, Jab, Jab, Right Hook, you are going to consistently throughout the day, throughout the week, you're going to be laying jabs. So basically what she was saying is that jabs are things like sharing your picture every day with an emotional quote or an emotional fact about you. Jabs are a recipe, a helpful tip, lay out your workout clothes the night before. It sets you up for success. Those are jabs, just like little breadcrumbs that you're laying for people. And you want to do these every day. She was saying, basically, she's leading up to her right hook. And the right hook is actually like where you are like, bang, join my challenge group, sign up to be a coach. But what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for this post. So all throughout the week, you initially want to set up your calendar. So at the beginning of the month, you want to set up your calendar to have your first 2 weeks of the month, like you're advertising for your challenge group, because you want to hit Success Club. That's your primary goal as a coach. You want to hit Success Club, and you want to do it as soon as possible. You don't want to be staying up till midnight on your last night trying to lock in Success Club. So if you set up your calendar, let's say week 1 and 2, you're going to advertise for your challenge group. Well, once you pick your challenge group, you need to pick a theme for your challenge group. So let's say you want to target busy working moms or college students or breast cancer survivors or whatever it is that you personally can connect to them with. So you want to set that up. Okay, my challenge group, I'm going to focus on busy moms. So now you know that throughout the week when you're laying your jabs, you're going to direct your jabs towards this target market. So for example, busy women's tips. These are going to be your jabs. If your challenge group is going to be geared towards busy moms, all throughout the week, you want to be laying these jabs like, hey, even though you're a really busy mom, here's a quick recipe. It takes 15 minutes. If you're a really busy mom, here's a helpful tip for busy moms. Skip the unimportant things. Don't dry your hair, but get your workout in because you want to take care of yourself. Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Those are jabs, and those jabs are geared towards the topic or the theme of your monthly challenge group. So then after 1 to 1.5 weeks of setting the stage for your challenge group, geared towards the people that you're targeting, you're going to lay your right hook. And when you go to lay your right hook, this is going to be your advertisement for your challenge group. And this was actually a really good thing because you've already set the stage for your challenge group. So people know that you know this stuff. Hey, for the last 2 weeks, she's been laying breadcrumbs of how to help busy moms, and her tips were really good. Laying out clothes the night before, skipping the unimportant. So then she's like, bam, hey, if you're a busy mom and you want more support and more help, join my challenge group. But here's the really cool thing. What she does is she attaches a blog to her post about the challenge group. This makes a lot of sense. So what she does is she says she creates this really pretty graphic, probably on PicMonkey or Rona Designs, whichever one you choose, and you're advertising for your challenge group. But what you say to people is you say, want to learn more information about what exactly a challenge group is? Because let's face it, outside of like our little world, people probably are like, what the heck is a challenge group? And you waste a lot of time being like, it's accountability, it's support, it's fun, it's motivation, it's this, it's that. You could direct all of those people back to a single blog post where you talk about, you break it down for them very simply. This is a challenge group. We're going to talk about, motivation and tips for busy moms. So if you're a busy woman and you need help staying on track or being held accountable, this is what the challenge group offers to you. And now when people are asking you what is a challenge group, send them your flippin' blog post. Save yourself some time. Like initially it's going to take you 15 or 20 minutes to write your blog post. Going to save you a lot of time back in the end. So you want to be setting the stage 1 to 2 weeks into the month for your challenge group, breadcrumbing, leaving these little tips based on whatever it is that your challenge group is going to be held. And then you want to deliver your right hook where you basically say, hey, join my challenge group. The other thing that she was saying is that you can add, it doesn't matter if you're a new coach or a seasoned coach, you can add a free form into your blog post on wufoo.com, WUFOO.com. They're free forms, and you can make it sound like my challenge group is really extremely exclusive, and I want to make sure that you're a good fit for my group. Fill out this form. And that's a really good way to pull emotional pieces from people, because the more emotional pieces you can throw back at them, the more likely they're going to be to spend the money to join your challenge group. Because if you can say, hey, I remember that on your form, you said that you're fighting a severe case of depression. Well, I know from personal experience that this has helped my depression. Exercise has helped combat my depression or my anxiety. You have an emotional piece from them, that's huge. So definitely add a form into your challenge group blog post. The other thing that she was saying is you want to make sure that you guys have, I know it's really, really hard as a new coach to like figure out who your target market is, but you have to see like what it is that you have going for you. What do you have going on in your life? Are you a busy mom? That's going to be your target market. I don't have kids, so unfortunately I can't say I'm a busy mom and I know what it's like, join my challenge group. No, but I can target younger women who want to build long, lean muscle, and I can help them because that's what I do at this point in my life. So it's really important to figure out your target market so that while you're creating your challenge groups, you are figuring out if you're older, maybe you want to do a challenge group on how to boost your metabolism. I mean, hey, that's really cool because when people get older, like they're like, hey, my metabolism sucks. Well, that's great because I'm going to do a 30-day group where you get on 21 Day Fix and I'm going to give you all these tips on how to boost your metabolism. That's really awesome. Maybe you want to do a new moms group, a college grad group, an immunity challenge, tips on how to boost your immunity. You could really tie Shaco into that challenge group. So there are tons of ways. You really have to get creative and tie it back into your target market. And then you have to lay your little breadcrumbs throughout the week leading up to your big announcement of a challenge group. Now, the next thing is that you have got to deliver these messages several times throughout the week, because if you just deliver this message once, it's not going to get seen. So you have to do it several times throughout the week, which is why I really, really like her idea of leaving the little breadcrumbs, like tips for busy moms. Lay out your clothes the night before, and then the next day, set your alarm 10 minutes early, whatever, just a tip for a busy mom. But again, so now those people are going to correlate in their brain. hey, Nicole was posting all these tips about being a busy mom, and you know what? I'm really busy. What is this about? They're going to start to associate you with those tips throughout the week, and they're going to start following those tips. People like free things. They like free tips. So then when you all of a sudden lay this right hook where you're like, join my paid challenge group, it's not like you haven't delivered like anything of value to them and you're just asking them to purchase. You have been delivering value all week, 1.5 to 2 weeks long before you lay this message. Now, unfortunately, you have to lay the message several times, like every other day for a week, every day for a week. Maybe not the exact same content or same photo, but the same message. And again, you can attach that same blog post to that message to say, hey, how about you come learn about what a challenge group is? Maybe you have a video talking about it on your blog post and then just a little tips and tricks or whatever. But I think the blog post is really, really good idea to kind of tie all of that together so people can really understand the value of your challenge pack, the value of your challenge group, because people think like, $140, that's a lot of money. But when you can create that value for them in this blog post that they're going to read, then that makes them feel like, okay, you know what, you're right, I should invest money on my health. And it gives them something to continue to reference. You have your blog posts forever and ever. They don't disappear like your Facebook post does. They're always there. So that's really awesome. The other thing that she was talking about, sorry, our caller canceled 10 minutes, 20 minutes before our call. So that's why I'm like all over the place. I was trying really hard to like get some content for you guys. So I was flying through her presentation call to try to bring this back to you. So if you see me, like, that's why. But anyways, she talked about a monthly marketing strategy, which I really, really like this idea. This is something I personally have never thought about doing, but you know what? It really, really makes sense. So what she does is the week before the month ends, so we'll just say last week of July, she kind of looks ahead to see like, okay, what does August have to bring for normal functioning people? Back to school. It's going to be busy. Kids are going back to school. You know, maybe there's a holiday coming up. Maybe it's coming into Christmas or Halloween or whatever. So you have to see what is coming up in the month ahead so that you can then tailor your breadcrumbs, your jabs, to tie into your challenge group based on what's happening in people's lives. So it's August, it's back to school. So you know what? People are going to be really, really busy. So that busy moms tips and tricks, like that's really cool. Back to school tips, back to school tricks. And then you lay this jab or this right hook on them and say, join my challenge group because I'm going to help keep you accountable. But you have to figure out what it is that's going back or what's going on in people's lives. Because again, you have to relate to them emotionally. If you don't, there's going to be a disconnect. So that's really important. She also talked about the length of the challenge group is really, really important. So I know that a lot of people struggle with this because you have people who don't post in your groups, and you know what? It just happens. But you got to choose the length appropriately. So if you're going to host a 60-day group, it's probably not really appropriate to do that over Christmas. People aren't going to participate in that, but maybe you do a 10-day group, a 10-day clean eating and refresh group, and you put people on the 3-day refresh challenge pack. And for 10 days, I'm going to show you tips and tricks on how to stay on track through the holidays. So you got to keep in mind a time frame for your challenge group. It doesn't always have to be 21-day fix. It doesn't always have to be 21 days or 30 days. You can do 10 days. You can do 7 days. You can do whatever in the heck you want because you're a CEO and you're a girl boss and you can do it. But you just have to figure out what works for you and what's going on in people's lives. So those are really awesome tips I feel like she kind of gave us for, you know, setting up our month for success. The other thing that she talked about, a lot of people were asking her how she attracts coaches because that's the $1 million question that everybody wants to know. These are the things that she said. She said number one was to be the success you want to attract. And I can tell you this firsthand. I was still working as a bedside nurse, but I made it seem like Beachbody gave me a lot of freedom. I was like, Beachbody let me make a big car payment. Beachbody let me pay off my credit card bill. I got a PTO day today, or I, took a week off because Beachbody was providing this for me. People want to be successful like that. And if you are saying that you're having this success, obviously don't lie and be like, I'm making $1 million with Beachbody, because that's not true. But little things, celebrate even the smallest successes, paying a car payment, paying off a little bit of a credit card bill, whatever it is, you got to be the success that you want to attract. So you really need to go back to your Facebook or your Instagram and see, what are you posting? Are people going to be attracted to the things that I'm posting? The second thing was confidence. You got to have confidence. I recently started saying, when I reach out to people about joining my challenge group, I say, I am extremely confident that this program will work for you. If someone told me that, I would be like, okay, sign me up, because homegirl is confident that this is going to work for me, right? If I were like, this might work for you, this might not. Did my computer just die?